well, there's no pink moon. Clouds cover it and then the moon finally comes out. Hey everybody, TrainNut85 here for another time for TrainNut85's train stories. I'm glad you guys got a kick out of the last story I told. Anyways, I just got thinking as the weather is actually finally warming up and me and my friends are actually hanging out here just watching trains at night. Got me thinking about some of the stories over the years about some of the places I've been to and done the train watching at night. Of course, everybody's out here. And it just got me thinking. Yeah, I've done a lot of these overnighters and whatnot, and of course Bobby Gass is sure remember it, especially a few of them he's on. But he was showcased. Anyways, this is my good friend slash brother Johnny.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man.
Got Alan Barnes here. He's official rail fan in training, and of course Bobby Gass himself, who's assisted me on many trips. Anyways, getting back to my story here, I'm going to start off with about, let's say, I'd say about 10 years ago. It was about May 2009 when I was actually first picking up overnight train watching. It was in Durand, Michigan. This is before I started the saga of Trackside Adventures. And you'd be surprised how many trains you see at night. I mean, just even the stuff you see, but sometimes, you know, doing the overnight train watching is a game. I mean, you're out here pitch black in the middle of the night. You never know what's going to come up. You know, it could be some animal. Hell, the cops could be out here. And I've endured it all. But had some fun moments and all that. But getting back to the other point of matters, the only serious overnight train watching actually took place right here in Cowan. And I had a lot of fun moments, especially when the signal actually used to sit over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bobby remembers that fondly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it was always a thing, you know, when that signal was high green for northbound, you knew darn well you were up for something. It could be a complete surprise. Of course, that was 10 years ago. But getting back to the some of the other stories here, but I want to show you this. We got something up there. So these guys are out here waiting on the southbound train, which I'll probably just show you for the heck of it, you know, including the story. But getting back to what I was talking about is a lot of the other trips I went on to do overnight train watching had either been fun moments or hassle moments. And like I said, I've done overnighters in Bridgeport, Alabama, which didn't get hassled. I've done it in Dalton, Georgia, didn't get hassled. I think it was only a few places where the cops stopped and asked me, "What are you doing out here?" Yeah, to this very day, they would actually think we're crazy for doing this. But it was all for fun, you know, to see what could be seen out on the main line. Yeah, it just occurred to me, you know, Alan was actually bringing up a point here. Since he's actually first getting into this hobby, he's still learning from me and Bobby because we're having to show the way, but he's actually taking it upon himself to do videos and all. But what was that question you were trying to do?
The question I was asking you and Bobby is, when y'all were out here like in Stevenson or Bridgeport or even here in Cowan, Tullahoma, Decker, what is the worst thing a cop can actually tell y'all? When I say worst, I mean, what can actually happen to y'all being out here watching trains?
That's the ultimate question right there, and Bobby is going to answer it.
9 times out of 10, they're not going to bother you. They'll tell you, "Oh, cool. What pictures you got, or have you caught anything good, or anything like that." Or they can tell you like they did in Lewisburg, run your IDs. Tell you you're criminally trespassing on railroad property, and tell you we don't want to see you back here no more.
Well, let me ask this while we're on camera, because I'm still learning from y'all two guys, which is really great teachers, by the way, y'all. Can a cop physically run y'all off since it is railroad property?
It's federal.
Federal.
Yes, they can.
Okay, so the cops still can run you off.
They can.
Okay.
Now that's one of many questions that the new, anybody that's new to this hobby is going to sit there and ask. But the one common thing that you always do is just handle it calmly. You tell them what you do. You just say, hey, you're out here for just the fun of it and all that. Yeah, and sometimes it can be really cool. But I got a really funny story to add on to that, and this takes place about 2010. I was right in Marion, Ohio, and it was about, I'd say it was about 4 or 5 days. This is when I basically hit the record of 312 trains. And right at that time, there's a place right in front of Union Station there in Marion, Ohio, called the Shovel Inn. There was some incident broke out. Somebody got in a fight. Now imagine, this is about 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about dead asleep. I wake up for a split second to see a whole bunch of these delinquents running around. And of course, seeing that stuff was on the table, the picnic table there at the depot, I was like, well, I better get out and basically guard the stuff. Well, whoever started the fight, they got caught, and there was like 3 or 4 cops around, but you guys are going to hear this one. The coolest part is that one cop basically asked me, how many trains have you caught so far? That is a rare thing to have asked to you. I mean, this guy's, wanting to look at the notebook, see all the locomotives written down, how many cars and all. And he tells me, yeah, if it was a slow shift at night, he'd sit out there by the tracks and basically would just watch every train that was going by. But now kind of adding to all the other ones, I think my fondest one was going to Folsom the 3 years and doing an overnighter there. And I tell you what, Folsom, during Rail Watch, you about meet the nicest people there. And of course, I came across one of my favorite YouTubers, Distance Signal, Danny Harmon, who is such a master at the video. I'm a big fan of his, and I've actually learned a lot from the angles he was shooting at and all the creativity he was putting into it. I mean, guys, if you happen to look at his videos, I mean, go to his channel, Distance Signal, and just watch it. I mean, for a guy that works at a news station, clearly he knows how to do it. But anyways, getting back to what my story was going on with this is as much fun moments as I had doing overnight train watching, there was some downer moments at that. It was right over in North Carolina. I think it was Kings Mountain. This is right on the NS, man. Heavy traffic, man. Of course, this is back in 2011. Went to do an overnighter there, and of course, I was the one driving. Window was down, and sure enough, I got woken up by a cop using his nightstick, flashing the light in my face, and getting asked every question in the world. Is, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why should you be here and all? I mean, yeah, just sitting there doing a 20 million question thing. But the only thing I could do is just keep my calm, answer truthfully. I hand them my ID, said you can check it. I have no record. Still to this day, still don't have a record. It stays clean as can be. Couldn't get anything on me, and they left us alone and drove off. I mean, that was that. But I tell you what, there's certain places where cops don't want you overnight train watching. Now, when I first was starting the Trackside Adventure series, I was actually starting it right in Tullahoma. That is actually one spot not to go to. The cops there will hassle you. I mean, they're not the friendliest. I mean, if you're sitting there overnight by a crossing, they're going to stop you, ask you what you're doing, they'll cite you for it. And believe me, I've heard 2 people that have had that happen to them, and they say just stay away. Well, I told them, well, I could have told you that. But that's just the ups and downs of overnight train watching in a way of it. But everybody has a learning experience. You know, as we're sitting here waiting for the southbound, one question has actually came up. Ellen actually asked, is like, what is the coolest train that's ever been caught at night? To me, it's actually two trains. Believe it or not, one of them is the Tropicana train, late night, going through Folkestone, Georgia there, all solid consist. The other one has to be the circus train. The one of the last times I caught it, it was actually going through at night. And but let's add on more to it. Bobby says he caught some pretty interesting ones at night.
Well, catching the Lorem grinder at night was awesome.
Yep.
You can sit there. And, matter of fact, of course, I live on the main line pretty much. It runs through my backyard. So, and I know one night my dad woke me up or something, and he goes, "The grinder's outside." I was like, "What?" So I go on out there. I caught part of it going by, and you can sit there and look up towards the mountain area, and you see them going around. All you see is nothing but an orange glow.
Yeah.
You're talking about awesome.
But mind you, I mean, you know, that's just one of the various things that, you know, you could see here at night. I mean, even the times that, you know, we used to overnight in the caboose there, I mean, we've seen some pretty good stuff. But yeah, like I said, guys, I mean, you know, this is what kind of came up in my mind as far as doing a video for TrainNut85's stories. If you happen to like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe it. You can even click on the notification bell. I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Glenn, who's the owner of TNRailsandTales. He's actually coming out with another video of scary stories. His first one, it was pretty good, but I didn't care for the robot voice. But this one coming up, he's actually narrating us, so I'm waiting to see that. But Bobby, is there any other shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, there's a couple of YouTube channels I want to give a shout out to. One of them is Distant Signal, Danny Harmon, if I'm correct, and Jawtooth. I enjoy your videos.
Alright, and that about says it, guys. So from TrainNut Productions, this is TrainNut85 saying tune in next time for more stories.